Hey, we're at STEM Studios. Today we're doing his first podcast. We've got Kyle Robertson, DJ, producer, record label owner, Mando Records. First of all, I just need to give a quick shout out to Mark Hukin and Tom Mitchell, MH Barbers, because he provided us with some equipment to film the podcast. So first of all, if you're into getting your hair cut, definitely go to them. So yeah. We'll just crack on, yeah. So tell us, Kyle, how you got into music and give us a bit of your background.
So when I was in schooling, so I've told you earlier, didn't I moved to Hong Kong.
Yes.
And my first ever lesson there, my first day was music. Now when you're out there...
How old was you when you went to Hong Kong?
12, turning 13.
Yeah, so do you speak?
I can order my dinner and stuff,
yeah.
but not fluent.
Yeah.
So my first lesson was music, and the teacher went, well, we've got a new student today.
Yeah.
We're doing solo performances, but every kid out there could play an instrument, like grade 5 plus one piano, and I'm like, listen mate, I can't do anything. And he was, oh, it's alright, you can sing then, go pick a song. And I remember I sang Oasis Wonderwall, and I got 4 out of 20.
Yeah, karaoke on first day of school, imagine how bad that
So the whole first day, there's that new kid that can't sing for shit. And I remember I had my lunch money left, and he said, oh, we don't have a drummer in class. I'm like, right. So I used my lunch money and I bought some drumsticks.
I'd much rather do that than
and
sing.
And I bought Blink 182, Enemy of the State CD, and then I just literally went home and was practiced on my pillows and stuff. My brother always used to listen to like bounce and hardcore. He's a lot older, so there was always the electronic there, but that was more getting into that.
It's a bit of a jump start, innit?
It was, and then as I got older, I started listening to stuff like Korn and Slipknot and Metallica. So I had that phase. Then I came to Sheffield to go to uni, Sheffield, and my first night in Leadmill Point, them student digs, a lad said, do you want to come out tonight? I can get us into Gatecrasher for free. I'm like, sound. He gives some leaflets out, and Ferry Corsten was playing. And then that was it. We just went into Gatecrash. He said, oh, would you want to work for us? So as a student, I was there, 3-4 nights a week, just giving leaflets out. And then started meeting people. And then one of my mates is called Mark Wagstaff, Waggy, and Jay Collins. They were always played in there. Yeah. And he said, do you want to come work for us? So then I started working for their night, which was called Charged at DQ. And then just... it's just a standard progression, I think, to go from flyer or promotion into DJing, because you're always there and meeting the DJs. And I just started playing before they opened the venue and stuff. Yeah. And then as time went on, I got a few.
Can I get a shot? That's
what I mean. Yeah. You've got to be. I thought, can I get a shot now? Yeah. And I remember they gave me a go once, and it was like 10 o'clock. There was no one in there, and I was playing all the big stuff. And they're like, you can't do
that right now.
So I sort of took a step back and then started learning, obviously doing the warm-up stuff. Then there was a few little competitions and bars and that, and that's it. That's the main thing since Sheffield, how I got sort of involved in it all. Played at Plug quite a lot. I was a resident there for a while, and there's also a venue called Nocturnal. Played in there a lot.
How did that phase into sort of the production then? Because obviously we've just been on decks. He's played some of his tracks. Slap.
Yes.
But yeah, how did you like sort of progressing? Because obviously, I speak to some DJs sometimes, and they're not bothered about producing. But I mean, as soon as I knew that you could do it was like, well, you need to be getting on with that. Really.
I mean, there's 2 ways you can go, because everyone now can DJ, and everybody can.
The bar for entry is pretty.
Yeah, it's so easy now, and music now is so accessible to get. Like, I know people that you can go on YouTube and rip stuff, but that's not good. It's
don't do that.
No, buy it.
Buy tunes.
But for me, listen, I love DJing, and it's good to always play all the fresh stuff, because I get a lot of promos earlier. But again, say you and me are in a club now, right, and there's a promoter there, and we've got 10 tunes that are the same. Who's you going to pick? Do you know what I mean? So you need to make your own like edits, or just have stuff that no one's got.
That was like the natural progression. I'll slap this vocal on this tune and play it out, and
And then the first tune, I just said, right, so I went into a studio. I use my friend called Alex Calver. He's based in Matlock now. I've known him for a very long time. Very talented guy. And I come in with my ideas, and then basically he
on the buttons,
he helps me bring it to life. And it came out 2019. It was called Here We Go, and I sampled the same sample that Chemical Brothers used, because that was the 25th year anniversary of Superstar DJ, that song. And then after that, I just like, this is quality. Do you know what I mean? So I just got the bug, started doing it.
Great buzz. So what would you say like your influences when you're producing music? Because you've got like quite a bass heavy sound, quite techy. There's like a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of atmospheres and stuff.
For me, I don't like that word genre though.
Of course.
I really don't. I just like.
I'm genre fluid.
No, it's just, if it's just a cool beat, as long as it just makes you go.
Therefore.
But you know what I mean. That's it. But I like when I look for like, I just watch interviews. Was like that one I showed you earlier. That's like a sample from an MTV 80s interview. I watch it. I'm a massive geek. Like I watch Star Wars and Marvel, so I watch movies for little things. And just use influences like that. Really.
Draw them from sort of places where aren't necessarily musical, and then you put them in and make it that. Definitely. So let's get on to the Mando, because that's what we're here to talk about.
So Mando Records, I had the idea for a while. So I've had a lot of tunes on other labels, such as High Definition and Wildcard, Escape Music. And you might know yourself, when you make a tune, you're like, this is the greatest song ever. And you send it to a label, and then you get a reply back saying, really good, but not for us.
Not what we're looking
so
for.
You're like, do you know what I mean? But there was one tune I sent, and they said, this is meant. I'm like, brilliant. Had to wait 8 weeks. And then they come back and said, thanks for your time. They gave me a full breakdown, and then they said, it's not quite right for us. So I just thought, it's sat here, I may as well get it out. And that's when I started Mando Records. As I said, I'm a massive Star Wars fan, so it's all with that, like the Mando.
It's all the artwork's like as well.
It is. It's all like sci-fi and fantasy, and so Mando, like you can laugh, but if you ever watch the show Mandalorian,
I've watched
So it's all different people from different clans. But they're from different clans, but they have the same goal. They think the same. So when we release people on it. Like Sam Nos's tune is quite nice little groover, and then
these are just like slightly more garage, isn't it?
Definitely. And then like my remix, I've just showed you that's out soon. That's really that's really heavy. But I'm the leader of Mando. That's it. Music is the way. That's how it's gone. And it's going good. I've got a guy called Mella who does all the artwork and everything. My best mate Paul, he's doing all the YouTube stuff. So we've got a nice.
I've got to say, quite professional setup as well. I'm quite impressed at like you seem to be doing a lot and quite consistently as well, which is like quite impressive and nice to see, because a lot of people will start the thing, get into it, and you'll sort of drown off and that. But you seem to you've already got stuff lined up for October and.
Well, we've got the full catalogues. We've got it till December 24. We've got a tune basically every month now. So that's what you need, just that consistency. So it's every second week of the month. That's when a single comes out. That's the plan. But so the first single was my one that got knocked back, and it was called the.
Have that labels.
No, but it's called The Question. And then I started doing little events up at the Harley. So the first one was in March. That was about my release. The one in April was Stupid Boy, his tune called Shapes. That was his release. So whenever we were doing events, it was basically to promote the person that had the single coming out.
Right, that makes sense.
That's how we did it. But we're just having a bit of a pause over the summer. It's not 100% yet, but I might be doing an event on Halloween. We're going to call it Mandoween. If you dress up anyone from Star Wars, you get in for free.
Free entry, But I say there's going to be a theme to it. It makes sense.
Sort of, but so the tunes, I mean, Shall I tell you what's coming out?
Yeah. We'll go brush over some. Yeah.
So the last one that's just come out was again Sam's Nausea, Your Body. That's actually had the most streams. I don't know the figures, but I looked on the graph, and his has had the most so far.
Yeah.
The next single coming out's from it's Stupid Boy's second one. It's called Calling.
Yeah.
He phoned me the other day and he goes, "I'm calling for you."
Yeah.
What are you doing? I've remixed it, and then also Scott Gascoigne.
Yeah.
He's doing well on the label. He's had 2 remixes and a single, and then he's got another remix coming out in December.
Yeah.
Scott, he's brilliant. Scott, I sent him the parts. Next day, done.
Wow.
He's really fast at
on the
production.
ball. Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time, so I'm glad to have him on.
Yeah. Need some people like, 'cause it's so easy to like leave it a week, let it fester. You come back to it and you're like, oh.
We've had a few interesting conversations, me and Scott, giving feedback to each other, but he knows what he's doing, and I'm pleased he's on the label. And then after that, October, we've got Selco, who's on Dead Mouse's label. He's pretty big now, to be fair. He's going down this like techno route now, though.
Yeah.
I sent him parts for another song, and he goes, "Oh, I'll do it 143," and I'm like, "Okay." But you know what? That's
so with you when you're releasing, you are open to releasing quite a wide variety.
Yeah, it's like I showed you. What's that kid from Sheffield, Luke? His one called Recovery. That's like breakbeat.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
cool.
As long as it's just, I don't know. That's why I hate that word genre. Because I don't want to pigeonhole it. I want it to have its own sort of sound, and I think it is. It's obviously it's the darker, the energetic side of stuff. Yeah. But that's what it's about. Like, what's that other one we've had on Bradley's, the villain? That's got like trumpets in it and stuff. That's nuts, but I love it.
Yeah, I like that like banger on the Indian sort of.
Yeah, that's Selco's. That's out in October.
Yeah, wicked,
And then me and Stupid Boy have got a collaboration coming out in November. Then Dots Per Inch, he's got one at the end of the year. Yeah. And that's it for this year, and then you'll find out the rest another time.
Soon come.
Yeah.
Right, so have you got any sort of advice for DJ and producers and people up and coming?
I mean, obviously, if you want to get into it, if you want to get into production, you can. There's hours of videos on YouTube you can watch. You can even there's like. I can't remember the link, but you can watch like there's a good D Ramirez, the producer. You can like pay for his videos. You can watch him.
They like Fader Pro and
that's
stuff
it.
Like
That's what I was looking for.
Subscription-based ones,
Loads of good ones on that. But if you want to start and you feel like it's just got to put the graft in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Massive thing in it that a lot of people seem to like. Sometimes is just like actually getting out there and doing it. Like book a session in with someone. I'm your friend's phone who does it. Do you know what I mean? It's
exactly. Like for me, when I started, and like I said, I mentioned Alex before, I've got no shame in doing it. You can go in, you can take like a couple of reference tracks that you like the sounds of. Yeah. So like you might have a certain bass sound you like, or you might like a certain percussions. Take them in and like maybe not copy them identically, because then you're not really finding your sound. You're sort of just mimicking other people. But you need to take inspiration from somewhere, because inspiration's everywhere. Yeah. But that's go in with an engineer, and then you can physically sit down and see what they're doing, and then you can go home and then sort of do it yourself.
Replicate
and
it again.
Just do that.
Oh, I did that there. I'm good. Trying that little trick.
Trial and error. Just got to keep going. For your DJing, you just now like. You've just got to get yourself out there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's gonna. You might have the best tunes in the world. You might be the best DJ in the world. Yeah. If you don't go out and network and market yourself and put yourself on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, let's even a simple thing. Get a SoundCloud account. Do a mix a month. Simple as that.
Consistency.
And try and make it. Just get some nice artwork. Just make it cool. Make it go. Think what am I going to do to get someone to listen to this? Do you know what I mean? I do one every month, and I go through all my promos I get. I'm literally probably shouldn't say this, but I'm on Beatport non-stop. Like I look at all the overall top 100, the not to play the top one, just to see
sort
what's
of
hot.
analyse trends.
Yeah, see what trends, see what labels, then you can. But Beatport, do you ever go on it yourself, Mark?
No, I've proper not DJing on head a bit. But
so you've obviously got every genre,
Yeah.
like disco, tech,
Yeah.
drum and bass, main stage, and again, this is why I hate that word genre.
Yeah.
But Beatport, it's an infinity loop.
Yeah.
So say you type in Mando Records. And you go, oh, I like State 8 songs.
Yeah.
You click on State 8, you'll see all his songs. Oh, he's on another label. Let's look at this label. Oh, who's remixed that? It's never ending.
Yeah.
So you just got to, anyone can go on Beatport and buy the top 10 and go play, but then someone else will do that. So to stand out, you need to dig deep.
Dig deep, yeah.
Keep going and researching.
100%, yeah. It's like back in the day when someone used to find a tune or something and no one would give out the tunes on YouTube and that, like with your mates and that. He's the one with all tunes and that. You need to have that sort of ear for it, be able to identify him, and last of all, like play him out. And
there's a good website I go on a lot as well. It's called 1001, so 1001 tracklist.com, and literally any DJ you can think of. So I don't know, say Clooney. You type in Clooney, it will show you his most recent set from a festival or a club that he's played at, and it will show you like the track.
Is that like community based, or is that?
It's there.
People going on identifying tracks.
Mine are on there. Someone when I put SoundCloud up with the track list on SoundCloud, this random kid messaged me, and it's like a forum, and all mine are on there.
Yeah.
Anyone else, so you can go. But the annoying thing is sometimes when you look at a set list and it says ID, you're like, what's this?
Yeah.
And I love that. I find it like a challenge to
try and find it, then
try
dig
and find that song, and then
you
can. Yeah, so for DJs, like I said, just get your mixes out, get chatting to people, go to venues, chat to promoters, and just send your mixes out. There's a difference between being a pest and being persistent.
Yeah.
You've got to be very persistent, but don't piss people off. I've done it before when I was younger, like hounding people for sets and stuff, and it can rub people up the wrong way. But at the same time, it shows that you keep willing to do it.
Exactly.
You've just got to.
I mean, eventually, like you keep going with your persistency, and they will generally give you like a chance at some point or another.
Of course,
most people.
My old boss, and he said this to me. I'm not trying to get deep or anything, but it's really it's a good phrase. If you do the same thing day in day out, you'll get the same result. So if you're sending the same mix to the same people, or going to the same venue and you're not getting anywhere, you need to do something different. You need to chat to someone else,
100%.
or you need to go to a different venue. Or do you know what I mean?
Just broaden your horizons, really.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's the main advice. Just keep going. Never give up.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. I'm still at it.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go into some of your sort of releases and stuff that you passed on.
So as I mentioned earlier, first one I did ever was Here We Go, Chemical Brothers sample. Then I had an EP after that with 2 tracks. One was called Time Bomb, and I did a VIP of that as a free download. And again, going back to the samples and stuff, I think it's got a mixture of Guardians of the Galaxy and Incredible Hulk mixed together.
Yeah. Just random bits you just pulled from.
Had a few tunes on Wildcard, Vanilla Race's label. I did. So the first song I got in his was was on a VA, and the track was actually called This Is The Way. And that's got a sample from Mandalorian. Do you know what I mean?
You guessed it.
So that's sort of where that then came into that. The best tune I've done on Beatport wise, a tune called Heartbeat on Reshaped Black. That got to number 48 on the overall Tech House chart, not the hype chart. Do you know the difference between the hype? So the hype chart is for labels that earn less than $5,000 a year, I think roughly, but it's for new up and coming labels. Beatport, it's a bit of a hoax, to be honest, because I don't need to get into figures, but obviously the tune, the higher up the tune is, it's more people that are buying it. But hype, you have to obviously pay to get that advertisement as well. But once you get in the main chart, that's big a difference.
Yeah.
So I was quite pleased with that.
Does it sort of like market to more people then when you're in the different charts, or is it?
It's like the hype, again, I said the hype chart, that's Beatport will look
Yeah.
at. So I think it's based on, someone told me it's sort of all like on algorithms and
Yeah.
stuff. So if you're on, I had a tune that was out, and if you're busy, Beatport will see that. It's
Yeah.
not based on sales, the
Yeah.
hype chart at
Right.
all, but it's just, again, Beatport will look at your Instagram
Yeah.
and see that you're doing bits, they'll
Right,
put it
yeah,
up. But when
yeah.
you get in the main chart, that's sort of based on
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah.
I'm not asked about
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
it's nice to see.
Yeah,
Because at
definitely.
one point, I had a tune that were above Martin Aiken
Yeah.
and Biscuits,
Yeah.
and they're like two of my
Yeah.
favourite producers, and I was
So
like,
you're like standing with him
of
basically.
course,
yeah.
it was nice
Yeah.
feeling that. You know what I mean?
Defos. How do you promote your music? Like, what would you say is the best sort of way to go forward about that? I know we've like briefly touched on sort of getting yourself out there and stuff, but like actual preferred methods on how to do it is a different story, isn't it? Like, you can't go into your clubs and I suppose you could go out and hand out USBs and CDs and stuff.
You used to have to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
You had
yeah.
to take like a mix
Yeah.
CD and stuff out.
yeah,
But again, just get your SoundCloud set up, or your Mixcloud, or
Yeah.
even a YouTube channel, and just the more content,
yeah.
the better, really.
Yeah, definitely. Instagram Reels are like a big thing now, aren't
Yeah.
they? They seem to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like the most engaging sort of content on Instagram. We use Instagram a lot. But they definitely always seem to be doing the best. And then you post like, yeah, it's kind of
Got to
weird,
post regularly.
definitely networking and doing stuff with other people is a big thing. Like, you crossing over two different sort of fan bases there, aren't you? With two different lots of people promoting it, which is like sort of key to reaching new people, isn't it?
Trying to think other ways really you can do it.
You into your emails a lot, and
You got to though. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're sending music to labels, you need to obviously send them. You need to make that label sort of feel special, because it's a little tip that somebody told me
Yeah.
about. If you're sending a tune to a big label
yeah,
and the label sees that it's had 20 plays,
yeah.
they're not going to listen to that
Yeah.
because they're like, well, who else have you sent this to?
See, so what? So you were saying you need less plays or more plays? Because I mean, someone was saying to me the other day that even like,
No, I'm talking about submitting a demo to a
Yeah,
label.
but sort of on the same subject, they were saying that essentially if they know you've put it out before or it's even been heard by
But then they to play devil's advocate, they might, well, why? They said it's just for us, and you
Yeah,
sent it
yeah.
to every Tom, Dick,
yeah, I
and
know,
Harry.
yeah,
Is that way you
Yeah.
can do it?
yeah. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because like,
You can go on SoundCloud
Yeah.
though, and you disable the plays, so only you can see it,
let-
and you just do a private link.
golden tip.
It's
yeah.
all golden
Yeah,
tip. Remember that.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So some of the artists on the label, let's have a talk about
Yeah,
them and the
yeah.
DJs. So there's a girl called Kirsty Turner.
Yeah.
She calls me the annoying older brother that she wished she never had, but she respects everything
Yeah,
I do for
yeah.
her. She's such a good DJ, do you know what I mean? And she puts the effort in, and
Yeah.
I helped her get on all the promos, and she does it now. She
Yeah.
goes through them once a week, and now I'm giving her a kick to get some, and she wants to. She's got some ideas,
Yeah.
so that's her next step, and that's what I was saying
To
earlier.
get to the production.
Of course,
yeah,
if you're so good at playing and you've got the best tunes
Yeah.
that no one else has
Yeah.
got, how can you advance from that?
Yeah.
You need to start making
Yeah,
your own
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and that's
definitely.
what she's doing. She's going to come in here
yeah.
soon, I think. I said.
Yeah. We'll get her booked in and
So we'll get her
on a
booked in.
Yeah. podcast.
We've got
or something.
State 8 on the label. He's a long-term friend, shall we say, and he's remixed Overthink. He had a single called 8 Ball. He's remixed The Question, which was the first single. He's doing a remix of Calling, and he's got another few bits. His remix of The Question, Majestic, played it at Tool Room
Yeah.
in the Miami Music Winter Conference.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see as well. And you know what, when I look back at it, I was like, if I didn't set Mando up,
Yeah.
that tune The Question would have
It
just
would've
been
just-
sat
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
So the fact I did it off my own back,
Yeah.
and then it's now got played
But
out
it's
there.
sort of like and it helps you dish out to the other people.
Of course, do you know what I
A lot of
mean?
people are in the same situation. You've took some of like their tracks and put them out there and definitely marketed them to a new audience. Put them on sort of Beatport where they can be bought. where they weren't previously.
No, they're all on Beatport
Yeah.
and Spotify
Yeah,
and everything. It's all me that does it all.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And it's some people say, oh, it's a lot of hard work. It can be,
Yeah.
but I don't treat it like work, because
Yeah.
if you do something you love, you never work a day
You
in your
never-
life.
Yeah,
That's
I
it,
remember
and
that.
that's how I see it.
Yeah.
I just love doing it, and
Yeah.
and the people that are on the label, I give them the energy
Yeah.
because they give it back to me,
Yeah.
and I'm just at that point now. If
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to somebody, the energy to somebody, they need to give
Yeah.
it back. If they're not going, then well, what's the
Yeah.
point? You
Yeah,
can only
definitely.
lead
Push-
somebody so far.
Yeah, drink
do you know
a
what I mean?
horse to water.
That's
innit?
it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I was going to say it, but I didn't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
sound too cheesy.
yeah. But yeah, definitely. And I mean, it does help that you are quite, like I say, organised, and you do sort of get stuff done, which is like you're not.
Tick list.
Yeah, you don't seem you're not complacent with it. You sort of like get it done, go and push forward, which is always good to see. It's like sort of inspiring to watch. As I'll be seeing through Instagram posts and bits, like you're always doing something.
Yeah.
Like, sort of give me a kick up the arse sometimes and go like, oh, you need to get this podcast sorted, or go and, you know what I mean, get these tunes out.
You invited me.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So.
But who else is on the label? So we've got Stupid Boy. Again, he's only been playing. He bought a pair of decks in lockdown,
Yeah.
and I know him through Mella,
Yeah.
who does all the artwork.
Okay.
So he's still very new. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The boy can play,
Yeah.
and he's got a very creative mind. We have some interesting conversations. He's a real wind up to me,
Yeah.
always is.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's had a tune called Shapes. That was the second one, and again State 8 remixed it. Selco remixed it, and then he's got Calling, which is coming out in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he's done another couple of tunes. He's done a techno one that we'll possibly put out later in the year.
Yeah.
And then he's got another single coming out in February next year. And then newcomer to the label, so we'll tell you this story, it's funny, is that it's called Bradley Skeng.
Yeah.
So me and Kirsty, we played a lot of Brad's tunes, and he just messages on Instagram and he said, oh, can I come up to Sheffield for your Mando event?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, if you want. So he came up in March all the way from London, and he just fitted in. He had a great time, really sound guy, very talented, and I just said, here's my next single, do you fancy doing a remix of it? He went, oh, I'd love to do it. So did it, sent it back. When I look at the promo feedback, the best one we had was Nick Fanciulli played his one, and his remix is on the whole package, smashed it.
Yeah.
So Brad's now a part of the Mando, big up Brad. And he's got a single coming out next year, but I've got about 4 or 5 tunes from him all locked in as well.
He's ready to go. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's always nice as well when obviously he's made that extra effort to come down from.
Yeah, he came up for tram lines as well.
Yeah,
Had a good day.
Yeah. Good event.
But if you want to, you were saying about how can people start sending stuff to Mando. So email address, it's just mandorecordsdemos@gmail.com, or just give us a follow on the Instagram page.
Yeah, do go and check it out. Yeah, because they are doing quite a lot. They've got a lot planned as well, like you've just heard. So yeah,
Just submit them on there. And I know the feeling of sending something to a label and you're waiting and you're waiting, and then you're constantly looking at SoundCloud plays to see if they've played it or not. I will always listen.
Yeah.
And it's, if it fits, it fits. I'll take it. If it's not, I won't go, this is crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
try and point them in
no, because
direction.
for me, it's again, it's not that. What's the word though? It might be bad to someone else, but it might be amazing to someone else. So everyone's got a different preference, different taste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's not for me, then I can obviously and I'll help them out, and I'll give them a few emails to go to different labels.
Definitely a big help to people, isn't it?
A lot of people helped me in the past,
Yeah.
and I want to give that back. And I think that's what we're sort of building with Mando, and it seems we have a nice
community.
Nice little gang, should we say?
Yeah. So let's just finish off with a bit of a quick fire round.
Cool.
We've got some questions for you here. So, your door of choice.
Ableton.
What is it? Ableton.
Yeah.
Labelton to grave or?
Well, again, it's just what I'm learning and comfortable with now, but it's not. I'm not saying it's the best, because there's a lot of someone put on Facebook the other day and it just started a massive uproar for people to use whatever you feel comfortable using. Use it. You know what I mean? When I've been in with Alex, he's uses Cubase, but you've got like Oliver Heldens, you said earlier, he still uses Fruity Loops, but whatever you think is comfortable for you,
defo
do it. But Ableton.
Top 3 plugins.
There's this one called Avenger. Get some cool noise on that. Massive, and the go-to Nicky Romero's kick drum. Like that.
Wicked. Splice or Loop Cloud?
Splice
has got way better samples there. I think Loop Cloud's a little bit easier to use sometimes though. It does sometimes bridge better, and you can load your own samples into it, can't you?
No, I like Splice.
Top 3 producers.
I can't just do top 3. I have to get you 5. People watching probably know this, but Chris Lake for me. Do like Kyle Robertson as well. Showed you some really good. Cool, Sosa, he's really good. Tony Romero, he's really good as well. And Armin van Helden.
Wicked.
Really good.
Hardware or software?
Software.
Yeah, I mean we can't afford hardware. Favourite Sheffield venue, past or present?
It's a tough one. I'd probably say, Gatecrasher's legendary, but the most memorable and unmemorable nights, which I always say, is the original Fizz Club.
Wicked.
I can't pick one, to be honest, but no, DQ, man. DQ. All day long.
I remember going there nice and underage. Top up and coming producers, any in mind?
We touched them earlier. Scott Gascoigne, just super fast. I'm just going to say people that are working with me in a minute. Bradley again, Bradley Skeng, very very talented. And Sam again, Sam Nosey. He's just, I've seen, because I remember when I met him, we played in an event and he just sort of was starting out, and to see him go from there to there. When he sent me Your Body, the tune, and by the time we got it out, he goes, I've improved so much since then, and he has done. I can see it. Not saying Your Body's rubbish or anything, but I can see him going from there.
He played me some of his tunes. Some of it made with his sister. That was absolutely wicked. I really like them. Star Wars or Star Trek?
I think we know the answer to that,
don't we? Favourite labels other than your own?
Label or labels?
You can give us a few if you want.
I like Lake's label, Black Book Records. That's really cool. Some good stuff on there. Don't want to say the obvious ones that people like, Defected and Tool Room. Not there's anything wrong with them. I do like them. But other labels, Sosa's label, I think it's Syncro. I can't remember. That's really good. I like that. And Seven Dials, Seb Vito's label. That's good.